This whole quest for what system of government we should have, started off pre-independence, the Legislative Assembly. I remember the member for, at that time, Rendova Wana. The constituency at that time was Rendova Wana. Member Blomivala, Francis Zangarao, and moving a motion to Parliament in 1975. And he asked to delay the independence. 5 other votes, no more to vote for him. He wanted to delay the independence simply because he thought that, we weren't ready at that time. And the talks that were around that time was that, every state Longo or regions in charge Longo. At that time, I think we were still a district. We should prepare ourselves as a state at that time. Dipia minu gaut, you sidan make me harem na what me tell him. Yeah. You to follow na like we independence at that time, Malay and Borkana. Mivala say, wait to stand. You may come up with a system that will better prepare us before you may enter independence. So reference point below me, no long township PC. Go back long pre-independence. And today we are still searching for that system. So me no like me for come up on them comments like non-negotiable. You must go ahead now. Oh, no more. You may think about all the small provinces, and let's move together with them. We are still searching for that, what not, a system of government that, would be better suitable for this whole country. But we were already talking about it at that time, even to the extent that, we delayed celebrating the independence in 1978. We celebrated that independence in 1979, I'm in the Western District. July 16, I think, 1979. I think there was me, Karam Jila Potolo at the time. There were 3 people who were tribal still here this time. What our old man Blomival stand up at that time, made the settlement in Usitupe. Istarare, Noni Georgia, and myself. They made the settlement at that time to have that independence. We basically went to Bougainville and Borom, now it's a provincial government system. We went to Papua New Guinea, borrowed it, have it introduced in 1987, and have no what you mean this time. Or somewhere in 1980. Papua New Guinea reversed from him, gone back to, I think, district, I think. You still stuck to him, it, Kasem today. This is a model in Papua New Guinea, honestly, we must tell him level straight. Because as you know, Papua New Guinea, when they got independence, Bougainville had their provincial government first time before they had independence. So we went and basically borrowed that system, yeah? Then you may come plant him, But anyway, we are still searching today. Whether Baba and Walker, you may one year, we're all part of it. Some prime ministers were to go, you may Samvala. I remember, I think we went through 3 drafts. Put him come out constitutional auditors and over there. So kami harem go sama expect by kamu ai, which expect more. Things that you meet, they take them out companies, but them still go ahead. Say. Of course, a lot of these issues have sprung up because of some events that somehow this country have flouted with over the past 10, 20 years. So you may ended up on that motor. Those points is a reference point for you more for go back and then revisit him now what the concepts here. Time now, I think you should go back more for discussing now the federal system, or state government system. Well, possibly it might work for you, me. any system longa man hem model here you cannot go and develop it more it's around all the literatures there is a reference on it in a worldwide finish now. I mean globally you Google him no more him lo there now I think the whole thing no more that you may have to find him no try to find him no bam work for him yo how is it going to work for us? I think that's a question that we are all asking ourselves, and that's possibly the risk factor that you may want still are now trying to mitigate him so that if it happens, I'm not higher. If it does happen, I'm lesser. I'm more safe. And so say, but suppose you look at several advanced countries in the world. I don't know, run the state system too. Strongest economy like Germany, for instance, they're still on district, provincial. You look low, PG, still district. Papua New Guinea now, it's province, but most systems are now run almost like before no more. Can't keep system anymore. But of course, you have governors where him governing now, what every official said, what running. So let's find him out what now by this system by him work for you. Let's have a look at the constitution and then you try to work him out from there. But in terms of capacity, this time, lo country, all of our provinces, you mean no equal. We are not equal. Some bar no garem the requisite capacity to be able to run a proper state system, even provincial government too. Even provincial government, some of what about don't have some of those capacity. So I think some of the points that Finance and Italian are very true. We now need to build on this capacity. Where do we start? That's a question that we need to put to not only our own self, but even what provincial government believe now. Ask him the hard question. Can you start the preparatory works? No. I know what you need to do. And I think you, Minister of Provincial Government, you start for work now, for improvement now, little bit review now Provincial Government Act there so that we can now start to work on devolution and then also the revenue sharing. Revenue sharing, little bit doing reading lo something at postgraduate level. Revenue is all vertical and both horizontal and vertical revenue sharing. And not only just our revenue quantum now, you may share in there. We have to share the powers of taxation where you derive in something based on the principles of derivatives. So where you derive in the tax here, maybe you retain in 30% or 70%, whichever where he flow go to state and the provinces or the states. I'm not how I work. It might pay for us to look at what now happened. Even Lord Champala advanced economists Grand Commission, Commonwealth Grand Commission, for instance, fall down. Could you fall down? Commonwealth Grand Commission, and then how they do it. Is it the power of taxation, what they take here, or which system of tax now shared, and which one now distributed from the top down to all of them? Is it direct or indirect? So these are the choices that you may have to make. And I think that comes to the point about thematic issues that needs to be discussed properly. So let's have a look at some of those things. Of course, in the end, ultimately, we all want that a system of government that by ensure and really cement him now this whole ideas and the principles of peaceful coexistence that you may are searching for. I think that's the most important thing. That will have to be the key issue. And that peace must continue to prevail, and that we all have that responsibility to contribute to this state, this whole state of Solomon Islands. But Chair, I feel that you mean now have to start to work. Devolution must go now. Because state is not a miracle. No them come no more than some fellas in the mean already. So we have to start now. You may start giving power over the money, make more now. You shouldn't go mining license here. True. You may start for giving power, make more now. You shouldn't go license belong logging vehicles at Koros Kumas Lomival Sambal. You shouldn't go power for the issue now, the license law side law investment will come inside. That's real devolution. You know, giving go no more health and education, then you say no wait study. By me, Holem stop establish one. Also, we have to give that real power to them. We have to start now. Him now. If you start working on him now, you know how him or there. You work on that one now. You mean developing go the power of mining, developing go power of investment, developing go power of fishery, logging, what more? Huh? Hey, huh? Water? Blow water? What? Huh? Yeah, I'm not. Ay, over there. Emotion. Give him gold water. Emotion. Gold dealers license here, GDL. Give him gold water too. Emotion. Then smoking by go behind him too. Emotion. Yeah. Emotion. Give him gold water. No, let me here. This will a special economic zone, Minister of Finance, you talk about, excellent. That's very true. Give it to them. Give it to them. That legislation, or start for legislative law there now. Let's make the enabling legislation law here, so that when they legislate law there, you no control more. Give them all. Give them all. Look him, time Italian Muslim, you will somehow right here. You will less law, give him go the power here. Emotion. Blow labor, give him gologeta. Blow immigration, give him gologeta. Emotion. I mean, me no say tomorrow, but let's work towards that. Emotion. So that when we finally decided that the size of statehood that him must be featured inside the federalism or the federal platform that him got him him para right time now. No good to give him go no more. Mami will no ready. Emotion. We will not ready it. Emotion. Give it to them. Emotion. Him no more small point when me like tell me because him must lunch at 12 o'clock now. Emotion. Coming to this point about the committee here. Say, country here belongs to the 80 different languages here. You mean how many? 80 what? Different languages. Not below you level here, parliament law here. It belongs to that 80 different languages where you mean or not make a map, not solo marriage. Or they are not me like a mother represented in charge of the Constituent Assembly. So that all the Karemna Constitution and go water and language water or the to talk go back to people who mention now. New system where you meet take them this one. You know this one also where you go take them to England, you go take them to self no more. Then you meet all them. I think that one number makes sense here. And then you may say, take him come now, but other chefs will come and help him. But they have to be the mainstay of this constituent assembly, or the 80 different languages here. They make up this country. Emotion. Me no like him now, it will a prime minister and leader now for appointing Mogada. No more. Parliament must prescribe him now, or the members here. Itupala. Country, Itupala here. Blow the 80 different cultural groups. Emotion. Yeah. Let's give it to them. That's what we didn't have prior to independence. Emotion. Now what was lacking prior to independence? The real consultations where Hemimbara really represent him now, or every cultural spreads inside the country, they weren't given that opportunity. Emotion. So you may end up one time with the concepts like, Solomon Islands, a nation conceived but never born. So possibly what Olman was talking about at that time was that, oh yeah, I'm still with them because we don't have a constitution for him, That constitution wasn't ours. We didn't make that constitution. In fact, that constitution supposed to read him. I'm almost like blow St. Kitts and Nevis no more along Caribbean. Even Belize too. So the good thing about this exercise is not for Intel for criticizing, but to make sure that we have our own constitution, homegrown. I think that's a good thing about it. But the other part of it is that the institution must work for Intuvala. That institutions have to work for us. So my little point normal of that one, 80 different languages, let's prescribe it, this law here. This constitution gives the rights for a particular one to a particular either legal group or a cultural group. You must put him in charge of the constitution. Take him out now, we have to prime minister and leader here. Out him. Me no like it. Country, we have to give it back to the people. They are the owners of this country. And it is them that will have to agree that you may have a new constitution that binds us together as a state. On the timing, sir, I agree. 2 years, you may give him Mogata. Finance and just tell him, no more, you may go for 100 years. I think he's right. We have been spending a lot of money on this exercise. Now it's time for Yumi for zero down now to make it happen. But before it happen, provincial government review must strengthen next year. Please, make him strengthen him provincial government review. And Prime Minister don't review. Review Minister. Let him stop with them. Make him review now. This provincial government act here. It must happen. Let's give more power to them. Power where you DPM Holemelo mining and give him go to provinces. Yeah, tell him. This one where you fisheries Holemian, give him go to province. This one where Huma Holemian, Minusave. GDLA, you give him go to gold dealers license, give him go to. You know Holem there. That will show and put to test the real strength below the provinces here. That's all about building up the taxable capacity. Right now we are not putting a design of how taxable capacity Lord every province is by develop or constructed too. Some you may not even construct him too. That one you must do him this time. Let's do it. And then it will make it easier for us to really understand him now, the way forward for this country. So say, yeah, I agree that you may give him more a little bit time, but me worry no more, I say. You may start this year, you may trouble, go next year, bye-bye, you may challenging more. But money, you may give him selling logo too. Him no more, hold me back a little bit. So, because, point goal of finance. Him now, what minimum, yeah. So, I really want us to see him practical for him by doing next year, or put him go. You may put him one more, knowing by him happen next year, no. I must him say. Next year is going to be a very challenging time. Him finish next year, you may say 2026 year, buy one or something more. Make sure Prime Minister you go invite him any big event to come. Buy no insulin more for you for doing work. Forum one leaders no more than enough now. One Narwania sustainable development. To Valanoma next year then finish now. 2026 you leave him stop now for constituency now. One constituency now. Constituency assembly. The one you live in for 2026. Next year, no more every meeting you take them come. Then stop. Because by Intel law, next year, towards law, 74, doing this one. Unless you go and find him, anyone for help him into all, minus I will not help him into all. Every donors will equal to talk over there, I would say, we are not interested with this one. I'm now outside to tell him, so minus I will not. Anyway, it all try to look around and then find him now, what do you mean? These are my only comments.